Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of your Brains Coach podcast. My name is Angela Shurina. I'm your host, I'm your Brains Coach, and it is my job here to bring to you all the best, recent, cutting edge, most important, effective, and sometimes fun brain body tools so you can take better control of your emotions, of your mental states, of your thoughts, and most importantly, of your actions, of your consistent, regular, dedicated action, so you could build the life that you absolutely love living. Folks, today I was walking down the streets that I usually walk down in the morning after my workout, and it's raining and it's windy. And I was thinking to myself, I actually am loving it. Like, I love living my life and feeling alive. Like, I'm fully 100% present for the moment, no matter what that moment is. Before that, I was talking to an Uber driver, and he said, yeah, when you work out, you feel that confident, but some people, and by some people, he meant, all of us at some point. He said, but some people just feel lazy and they just don't choose to do that. And I told him, well, in life, you can have two pains. The pain of challenging work to build the life, the body, the health, the relationship, the business that you want, or the pain of not having it and always feeling like you're missing something essential in your life, something that you're destined for. And so what pain are you choosing? And for quite a while in my life, I was choosing to stay comfortable. I was choosing the easier choices more often. I didn't realize it all the time necessarily. And then I would feel a lot more pain because of the life that I was missing out on. And I always was wishing for the future, for the next moment, for something else, for something that wasn't there, for something that was different, right? And my life felt really, my life felt like it was fake, like I wasn't living it, like it was passing by me. And only when I truly leaned into struggle, when I started to embrace, and that was actually quite recent occurrence, and I'm still learning how to embrace each moment. Only when I started to lean into each struggle, each day, whatever it brings, into each challenge, each uncomfortable conversation. Only when I started doing that and truly embracing what is now, that is now, and I started feeling truly alive. And that's what I shared with Duncan. He was the Uber driver. I'm like, I love feeling that aliveness, that spark in me. And yes, that's a lot of hard work, but I never felt that much alive. And no Netflix, no, delicious food, and nothing can compare to that, to the fully embracing the moment and fully living it. So that just was what I was going through this morning. And I thought to myself, especially as an entrepreneur, as someone who wants to change things, who wants to transform the world in some way, we got to learn how to lean into now, into the present moment, with all the freaking challenges it's bringing, with all the discomforts. Lean into it, seize it, work through it, and come out on the other side transformed, having created something new, something that wasn't there, some transformation for yourself, your business, and people around you. So that's what I was thinking walking today, this morning when it was raining and windy. I actually felt really, really, really happy dancing in the rain. I'm like, I'm not taking anything, but it felt amazing. And I also had the best conversation with Uber driver and the best cappuccino. Everything felt like I was just present for every single moment. Besides that, folks, today, as you probably guessed from the title and the description of our podcast, today we're talking about entrepreneur focus and how to master that. Focus versus ADHD type of things, jumping from one thing to another, and focus when it comes to our businesses and actions that we take to move things forward, to move things to the next step. And I've been in this place for quite a while. Only now I think I understand what focus truly means and how ridiculous it was to be trying to go after two business ideas, like trying to be that coach in health and nutrition and be more on the health side, weight loss side. That was my past for more than a decade of my life, trying to be someone there and still accepting clients for that. And then trying to build my next step, my dream, high performance coaching, resilient mindset, confidence, entrepreneur mindset for success, or success mindset as I call it. And focusing more on performance and creating systems and tools and scaling those to help purpose-driven people and teams and companies to deliver their mission faster and in a more profound way, right? Only now that I'm focusing on one thing, I felt how ridiculous it was to expect great results being all over the place with my activities and focus. And now that I realized that and focusing on only one thing, one mission, I created my OKRs, objectives and key results that, by the way, we're going to have almost like a masterclass on this podcast with the author or a popularizer, modern day popularizer of OKRs, objectives, key results. I'm not going to get into it now. If you're curious, look it up. It's one of the best systems for companies and individuals to get to focus our resources, our time, our money, our talent to focus to achieve world-changing missions. Like Google is one of the most profound examples, but also the same system is used by LinkedIn, by I'm blinking, but there are a lot of companies like Intel, the microprocessor, the chips in all of our computers. Microsoft, I think they also, Bill Gates adopted it for his initiatives like creating vaccine for malaria. So many companies are getting into OKRs because it's such a beautiful system. And I just finished the book, Measure What Matters, that talks all about OKRs and the companies that adopted them and how it can transform their businesses. And the core concept of OKRs, why you wanna use that system is because it helps you to focus on key objectives to move your vision forward. It's translating purpose into profits, translating your grand vision into tangible activities and results that you're gonna do, that you're going to accomplish, that you're going to work on every single, not day or week or month. So, whenever you choose to work. So focus. I was having a session with a startup founder and, she was asking me, what do? I need to learn how to prioritize better, how to focus better so I can move forward and achieve results and make progress. And she described to me her situation in her business. And I asked you what I like to call a Tim Ferriss question, or simply Ferriss question. What one activity or what one result, if you get it, it would make everything else easier or unnecessary. And for most startups, for most companies at the very beginning, it's sales, it's cash flow generating activities. And so then I asked you, okay, so sales, you understand that if you get sales to a certain point, to a certain milestone, your fundraising activity is going to become so much easier because you actually will have something to show to investors instead of just trying them to see your idea or your vision. You're actually going to give them the numbers that you are growing, that you are making sales, that you are having customers. And that's what most investors care about. And then when you actually get the traction, investors will most probably even start coming to you as long as you keep talking, communicating your mission and vision, and working also becoming visible, but also just getting traction and more clients and more reviews and feedback and referrals. So I told her, If sales is your primary, stumbling block, and she was also telling me about different activities that they try to do, working on their marketing, working on their branding, and then creating content, optimizing their LinkedIn profile. And I asked her, but what of those, which ones of those activities actually, in your experience, brought you sales and brought you cash flow? And she said, well, actually, referrals worked really well. Introductions worked really well. And then reaching out through LinkedIn directly worked really well. And then I ask you again, so what if you just focus on that instead of trying to create content and do marketing and branding? What if you and the team that you have focus entirely on that to bring sales to where you need them to be? So then you have the cash flow, your company is able to breathe and eat and live, so to speak. And then it will allow you to do all the other things, to approach investors and to fundraise from a more powerful position. It will help you to invest into that marketing and branding and raising awareness, instead of trying to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and choosing the cheapest marketing and branding that is possible and not really having any traction, but instead wasting a lot of hours there. Like, what if you focus only on sales? Can you imagine if you just spend Monday to Friday, let's say, your whole working day, your whole team works on sales generating activities, and you choose one to three of those for each week. And then at the end of the week, you see what results you're going to get from each of those activities. And then you can even go more focused and double down on the activities that brought you more sales, more numbers. And then for the next week, you double down, for example, on that one activity, maybe on warm reach outs from the customers that you had or people in the ecosystem that you interacted, that you are aware of or know of. Double down on that one activity and then spend all of your time on that, and see how your sales might actually grow a lot faster. And then this will unlock the next task, the next challenges, the next cash flow generating stuff, and things will start moving forward to the next level and to the next level and to the next level. Except now that you sprinkle all of your energy and resources that are already limited in any startup or any company at the beginning. So you sprinkle your resources all over the place and you are just running in circles, not moving anything forward. And that's been my problem for quite a while, just running in circles, doing a lot of activities, not measuring the results and not realizing that sales, that partnerships, cash flow was the thing that I needed to get into to generate consistent income at a good level. And then everything else that I dream of or think of will be unlocked automatically. So the first question, what if done would make the rest easier or unnecessary, right? And focus on that. Like, get maniacal or obsessed with that one thing and getting that one stumbling block out of your way. And then it's like a waterfall, a cascade of things gonna pour into your life, into your business once you unlock that. And what I learned from talking to a lot of founders and entrepreneurs and startups, getting them on our coaching sessions. By the way, the one that is almost complimentary, I made it $9, is available in the link in the show notes. Executive coaching session where I help you to prioritize, to focus, where we're going to walk through specific activities you do or don't do in your business. And based on all of my experience, I will help you to clarify where you actually might want to focus and how exactly, so you get to the next level faster. As I'm growing in my business and learning a lot of lessons, also learning from a lot of smart people, having mentors, I'm more than happy to share these lessons with you. So check out our executive coaching sessions. that will help you to focus and start moving out of the way those big rocks, stumbling blocks that will unlock the next level in your business. And it's all about focus. Again, don't be afraid to focus, like you're going to be missing out on other ideas. Sit down and ask yourself truly and honestly, what's stopping me from getting to the next level? Find that target, see that target. You probably already know what it is, and then remove all the distractions out of your way and focus on that thing only. And you'll be surprised how fast actually you can make progress where you couldn't make progress for like months. And that's my personal story. And all of a sudden, all of the things starting to move forward when you focus for some time on that one thing. And also remember, folks, that's a lesson from all of the entrepreneurs out there, from all the leaders, athletes, artists. In order to break through, especially in a noisy world like ours, you have to be known for one thing. Think about any entrepreneur, artist, leader, athlete. What do you know them for? What do you love them for, admire them for? For many different small things? No, you know them for one very specific thing that they worked their asses off on, and then they focused like maniacs, and that's how they broke through. Yes, they have a lot of other things, and they usually, after they had their breakthrough, gonna work on different projects. But to begin with, the one thing, what do you know them for? They focused on one thing, be that multi-preneur Richard Branson or whoever you admire. They might have more things than one now when they're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years into their entrepreneurship. But to begin with, they had one thing and they focused on it like maniacs, solving one problem at a time. And at that time, that for them, most of the time was the only choice. They didn't have that much noise. But now, with all the social media and people telling you should do this or that, or your business will die, sit down, ask yourself, what's one thing that I need to get solved that will make the rest easier? And then get to work on that one thing. And be very choosy about the things that you choose to do to solve that thing. And every week, sit down and do a review. Did it work? Did it not work? What worked better? What worked worse? And what worked better? Double down on that. So focus until that stumbling block is out of the way. And then all of the other things will start moving into the right direction. And then again, choose the next target and focus. Choose the next target and focus. Alex Hormozi, like whoever business owner you admire these days and follow, just look at them. They are focused on one thing, solving that, and then figuring the rest out. Okay, so focus. And speaking of focus, a lot of entrepreneurs have ADHD, attention deficit, hyperactivity disorder, or just being super active and being all over the place sometimes, like being curious, creative. And that actually what will allow you to have a lot more ideas and see a lot more opportunities than a lot of other people. But also the other side of that medal, so to speak, is sometimes not being able to focus. Like I can so relate. I believe I might have a ADHD, but because of my life experience, my 7 years when I was growing up in musical school and then also art school and being really hard on myself, maybe because of my parents, etc., on studying, I taught myself how to focus. And now I have a lot of different systems to manage my curiosity, but I'm so insatiably curious. And that's why it took me forever to just focus on one thing. But I can so relate to that. And how do you manage that ADHD and your curiosity, want to jump all over the place, and how to not get overwhelmed with all the things that are popping into your mind, all the ideas. And the only solution you have, guys, is to outsource your brain to capture everything that is in your mind so you're not worried that you're going to be losing your ideas. And then still focusing on that one thing. How do I do that? And what do I recommend all the amazing entrepreneurs with exponentially bigger creativity and curiosity. Capturing everything that comes into your mind and outsourcing everything out of your mind, outsourcing everything that your brain is going through, never keeping anything in your mind. Your brain, somebody famous said this, your brain is for having ideas, not keeping them, or for creating ideas, not keeping them. What does it mean? Well, idea pop into your mind. I have a special notebook for ideas and quotes, and I put my ideas and quotes there. And usually at the end of the week, when I do my weekly review, I just go through that and see if something, interesting is there. I also am working on this quarter, this spring 2024, on a better system of capturing my ideas so I can actually search through them and retrieve them. So electronic idea capturing system is coming for me. That, again, ideas, all of them I capture in my notebooks. The second thing, no reminders and no follow-ups should ever be in your head. You should not go to bed thinking, or I need to do that, or I need to follow up with this person, or I need to buy this and that. It should be captured somewhere. So your brain, your working memory, like you have this special thing, working memory, kind of like a RAM in your computer that holds the information for intermediate processing, so to speak. Things that are not in your long-term storage, they are in your working memory, so you can work with them. Kind of like a mini storage where that your brain uses to work with the ideas that are recent and you might need like right now. So your brain stores them there, and then some of that hopefully your brain uses and discards them, and some of them are transformed into your working memory, into your experiences, and into your skills. So what research shows, the more things you have in your working memory, the harder it is going to be for you to do any cognitive work, to be creative, to make decisions, etc., etc., etc. Not only that, you're going to feel overwhelmed, and and your sleep even going to suffer. So what's the solution, especially for a person with ADHD who has a lot of different ideas and thoughts? Again, outsource your brain and capture all of it. So whenever you think I need to follow up with this person or I need to start this project, have a system. For me, it's my paper planner. So pen and paper, notebook, planning my activities every day. I sit down at night, I plan my day ahead, and then at the end of the day, I look through my day. And sometimes even twice a day, I look at the same schedule, what I need to get done, what is important. And then I'm like, okay, let me readjust my day and let's refocus. And then at the end of the day, I look at my activities and I look at the results. I'm like, okay, I look at my calendar that I have as my Google Calendar, like what meetings are coming up, what do I need to prepare for? And so that combination of my Google Calendar with certain reminders, my meetings, and my paper book planner, I capture everything. All the reminders, like I need to follow up with that person, or I need to start getting ready for this project, this workshop, that is all stored in my Google Calendar, which I choose, which I check every night. And then things that I needed to be taken care of the next day, I write it down in my paper planner. And then whenever I think, or whenever, for example, somebody schedules a workshop with me a couple of weeks in advance, I put a reminder to myself, depending on the workshop, 4 to 5 days ahead of that workshop to start getting ready for that workshop. And then also, obviously, the workshop itself is on my calendar. And so now I'm not worried, because on that day, 4 or 5 days before that, I will have the notification that I need to start getting ready. And on the day, I obviously will also be reminded that this is coming. And then I copy the next day agenda to my paper planner. It also helps my brain to now understand what's coming and to help me prepare for that better. And then all the rest of the stuff, like ideas, again, projects, I always have a special notebook for that. Again, that is going to be electronic soon, so it's easy to search and retrieve. What else? The basic idea, never keep anything in your mind. And that's what I also teach all of my clients. If you're feeling overwhelmed and like you're never able to catch up, that's the thing. You gotta have everything captured. And of course, back to the idea number one that we talked about in the first part of this podcast, you gotta focus, you gotta have fewer priorities, and that will help you to also manage your ADHD a lot. When you have like one priority, sales, and you have 1 to 3 things that you do every day, there's not much you can be ADHD about. And then when idea comes up, you write it down and set a date or a time, like Saturday, 9 a.m., going to be going through my ideas. And you put it there and you focus. And the thing is, guys, if you feel like you might be missing or something, well, sometimes there are things that you might indeed be missing out. But also understand that some things are more important. Like if building your business is your priority for the next 3 months, be okay to miss out on other things. There's always going to be more stuff. But you always want to ask yourself, at the end of this 3 months, do I want to move my business forward or go to a bunch of meetings that don't mean much and I won't even remember what happened in like 3, 6, or 9 months, whatever. Right? And I always ask myself this question. I always ask my future self, will that matter? If I go to all of this stuff, if I go to all of these classes, to all of the meetings, if I say yes to all of the invitations, will that matter to me in 3 months? Or will I rather have the business developed? And the answer is usually, I would love to actually have my business developed, and all the other meetings, except, obviously for my family or my friends and being there for them, except for those things, the rest of it doesn't matter. I can go sightseeing or do this thing some other time. And once you're really clear on what's actually important in your life, and there where I find a lot of people find it challenging, but there is no way around it, as doing the work, the exercises, and there are plenty of resources. And by the way, if you need help figuring out your priorities, your why, your life's purpose and mission, reach out. And there is again the session in the show notes available for you. So there is no way around it. Again, the work needs to be done. And once you understand that and you ask yourself this question, what will matter to me most? It's going to be much, much easier for you to say yes and no to things and focus like a maniac. And also remember that as ADHD person, you also have this mode of hyper focus. And once you understand what's truly important to you, you can tap into that hyper focus much, much, much easier, where no distractions will matter to you ever. You're going to be like a maniac and just focus on that one thing. And then if ideas pop up, just capture them outside of your brain. And besides that, obviously, if you do have ADHD brain, you need to maintain a healthy brain. You need to feed it good food, your protein, your fruit and vegetables. Why fruit and vegetables? They have a lot of antioxidants that your active brain needs to protect itself, so you don't have brain fog or memory lapse or mood disorders or ups and downs, and you regulate your emotions well and energy well, right? So feed your brain, exercise, sleep well. Sleep is your brain's superpower. Did you know, by the way, that sleep is where your learning happens? Did you know that? So take care of your brain. ADHD needs a lot of care, just like any other brain, really. But if you want to get your ADHD superpowers, creativity, and hyper focus and super learning, you kind of got to take care of that brain of yours. And by the way, if you need help on the health side of the ADHD, from nutrition to lifestyle, also please do let me know. Sometimes I think like a lot of ADHD people just need some basic self-care. Sleep, eat well, exercise, see the sun, and you'll be totally fine. You're gonna be a superhero, the one that nature designed you to be. Right, so reach out. The session is in the show notes. It just costs you $9, and mostly so you show up instead of forgetting. And if you have any questions, reach out, Angela@brainbreakthroughcoach.com. And don't forget, folks, to share this podcast with other awesome entrepreneurs who might suffer with lack of focus and priorities and ADHD. Give them the podcast, make them realize what they might be missing, the skills, and how to go about mastering their focus so they move their business, their awesome ideas forward and create better world for all of us. So share this episode in DMs, on WhatsApp, on Instagram, on X, on Threads, on LinkedIn, wherever you are. That is the best gift you can give me. And Women's Day is coming up, so please do share. And also leave us a review on Apple. I noticed that we don't have that many reviews anymore for whichever reason they disappeared. So go to Apple if you are their reviewers, or Podcast Addict, or Spotify, wherever you find your podcast. That's going to be the best gift for your brain's coach and Women's Day. That being said, have an awesome, focused day, and till next time, stay focused, work hard, and build awesome things.